Hey, I'm Scott Woodward. I'm two-time Moscone Cup MVP, and you're watching Railbirds TV.
Well, hello everyone. This is Jeremy Jones and Railbirds TV Productions coming to you from a 2020 Derby City One Pocket match. It's Efren Reyes and Nathan Rose. This is a 5th round match. We'll get both the guys' records here shortly. Efren, who rarely ever loses a lag and usually is actually better to the rail than that. You can see Efren Reyes, who lost to Danny Smith in round 4, but 3 nice wins to open our tournament. So Efren has 1 loss and will be breaking the balls. Nathan Rose, who lost his opening match to a local friend of mine, Mike Denham, and then 3 wins in a row and a big one over Scott Frost. So you could say a tale of 2 tapes for the guys, with Efren winning his first 3 and then losing in his last. Efren, one of the most professional you'll ever see. That loss, probably won't affect him too much here, but you can definitely say something different for Nathan, meaning after a loss in the opening round, he's come back with 3 big wins. Not much here. This is a pretty good break, especially that 11 ball sticking out, which really makes the 3-rail kick up behind the 9 very difficult. So now drawing off the 3 ball down below the 9. Oh, he went up table. So immediately challenging Efren now. The one thing about that shot there is obviously it's all about the cue ball. Of course, there was a lot of threat there for Efren if he was froze to the rail and having to roll this 11 ball in, but he's definitely not going to pass on this, being able to cue the ball well from the end rail. Nice opening shot. And this is probably where Efren was probably the greatest that's ever lived, running the balls. Such an imagination, and instinct as well. One thing I've learned that made Efren so much better than most is his innate ability to stay loose during such big pressure situations. Now, this is, of course, a tournament match and one he wants to win, but I'm talking about more of his heyday when he was playing always the best in the world. Not just at the game he's the best in the world, one pocket, but that one's going to come a little deep. It's going to need to really spin to get by that 3. Yeah, and that's going to be upsetting because he had a pretty big target area there. Just kind of drew off the ball a little much. So a missed position shot you won't see very often from Efren Reyes. And now we'll see if he tries to play some type of combination plus a double up, moving the cue ball forward towards the stack. He hit it perfect, it looks like, and he's going to have to play. Oh, no, it hung up. But I'll tell you what, he put the cue ball on top of the 12, and I don't believe the 3-ball bank, so we'll see what Nathan can get at immediately. Nathan, who I always called him a kid because I've known him since he was very, very young, 11 or 12 years old. But now probably, I'm guessing in his early 30s. He's going to soft spin trying to get behind this 6. May have to swerve around the 12 a little bit. Look like it. Really nice effort there. So we'll see what Efren, he's going to survey here. Maybe he kicks at this ball. Maybe he comes off the 9 and rolls the cue ball towards the 3 and towards the 12, trying to trap him up a little bit, but he could give him a little piece of the 1 or maybe even a straight in shot on the 8. So Nathan's done real well with that little shot he made there. touchy little kick shot. Now this one lays pretty nice to where it's very hard to scratch if you get inside the 8 near the rail there. That's going to catch it a little thick, but should be okay. And a nice little double kiss laid the cue ball on the side rail. And that's why you saw him kick with a little more speed, because the scratch really wasn't available. Not saying it couldn't scratch, but it had to hit the side rail and then the 8 ball just perfectly thick to kind of go through it and scratch. We'll see what Nathan has to choose from here. He could elevate on the 6. He could roll the 6 a little bit, just kind of rub it and bank it across towards the 2, laying the cue ball on the side rail. I think that's what I like. Just let's see what develops. Keep it kind of simple here. Yeah, and I like that as much as any. The only thing is, with nothing too near the hole, you have to be careful letting the cue ball come up. Could have given Efren a bank on the 9 where he could have swung the cue ball, or possibly even the 3, but it was a chance that was, I guess, worth taking. Now, does he kick and try and come across this 8 and come up the table with the cue ball with the 3, 7, and 10 kind of doubled up, jumbled up there? Not sure what he's looking at. Okay, he decided to play it simple, just trying to get the cue ball to the end rail, using that double up. And look at the speed on the cue ball. Wow. Now, I'll tell you, Nathan might look at coming off this 11 ball. Send 11 into the 2. Kind of move something towards the hole somewhat. Mainly just play the cue ball up about the middle diamond on the side rail, using the 3 and the 9 as big blockers. Real simple shot, and the ball's laid to Nathan's advantage a little bit. And Nathan was a very good player at a young age, and not sure if he took a whole lot of time off of playing, but he took some time off of serious competition, excuse me. If I remember correctly, being from Port, I think his dad owned a pool room in Port St. Lucie, Florida, if I remember correctly. Okay, this is where I would definitely kick and consider crossing the 8. You could even go through the 8 and just lay on the side rail. I like going up table like that. And not saying he invented the shot, but probably Efren through the years hit that shot different ways as better than anybody. Tell you what, though, Nathan's done is he's given up 3 balls, but Efren broke the balls here in game number 1. So Nathan's kind of gotten a little bit out of the situation of the break, that's for sure. And he's got a chance to probably turn this game around, even though trailing 3-0. He's looking to see what he can do with the 8. Nothing really goes towards this hole. The 11 does cut, but I don't think it's very much worth it. And it looks like to me he's just real close to being able to 2-rail this ball up and down the table and not beat the kiss on the 8. It's real close. He'd have to kind of draw it with a heavy right English, hitting it real thick, trying to twist it back by the 3-9 and back up and down the table. Oh, he kicked it. That's okay, but if the 11 banks, he's got to be careful. Not only that, anytime you have those balls doubled up, you have to be very aware of what my opponent can do and stick me up table. Like there, the cue ball came up and just, I think the 9 cut Efren off the 14. But if he didn't, he could bank the 14 back in between the 10-1, back towards his side, and send the cue ball up table as well. I think he's going to look at this 11 or maybe even the 2-1. I kind of snoozed that one. That may be playable as well. Problem is, if the 11 ball banks, he's really got kind of free reign, either going into the 1, coming back on the 3, one of those. He went into the 1, and what a great stroke that was. And now just a perfect angle to bump the 12-6 open, have the 14, and you can see the 7, 10, and 3 will open up nicely after the 14's gone. That's what he's looking at right now. And the thing is, go up into the 6 and 12 knowing you're going to bump the 12 and the 3 a bit. I wouldn't ease this too much and get jacked up. I'd go ahead and put a little... Oh, okay, he bumped him. Nice. Now you can see that little wall that all 4 of those balls face Efren's pocket. So just needing 2, a lot of choices. So he got jacked up kind of on all of them. One pocket's amazing in that way, that you'll get in the one place that makes every shot a little difficult. Okay, so he hung what is essentially his out ball, because you could see the 12 or the 3 was easy pickings for Efren Reyes. I'll tell you, I don't know. I may not get any better than this. I may look at seeing if something banks. I don't really think it does, though. Even a 3-8 5-8 combination, excuse me. If that's some kind of playable, I may look at that, because Efren's not going to give him much more from here, even if he gets at this 10 ball. What about that back combination on the 3-7? I know that looks awfully steep, but I think at this point you got to consider a lot of shots, being down what will be 7-0 here in a moment. Now maybe he'll get a chance to get a long railer here, that being Nathan. I don't think Efren should do a whole lot here. He can move 2 balls here, just hitting the bottom of the 3 and quietly, kind of mildly rubbing the 7 over towards the 1 and letting the cue ball just float. Oh, he went through it. That's going to open up a bank, I think, on the 3. Not saying it's a great one, but when you're down 7-0 and all the balls are kind of still in play, something you may consider. Or at least I think he should consider it. Yeah, it looks like to me he can put even some inside English on this one. Maybe the 9 has it to where it doesn't bank at all. We'll know that for sure if he just knocks his 3 to the end rail and up 2 rails into the 9 and 8 and all that. Now Efren should, he can do whatever he wants. He can go forward on the 12. Nothing really banks. He can shoot the 12 into the bottom of the 7, moving a couple balls coming down back to the bottom rail. He's just going to hold here. No, he went in and went forward. And Efren's a smart guy. He's trying to make sure he doesn't leave him anything to kind of kamikaze at. Doesn't matter if it's a bank combination or just any kind of shot for Nathan. He's looking at the 1 now. Looks a little steep, and nothing wrong with a steep bank at this point, but you definitely want to get rewarded if you make it. So he's going to wait. Definitely not wanting to let Efren see that 1 ball. And I think he did let him see the 1, or at least Efren may even curve at this ball. Only thing about curving at it is you may give up a bank, a long rail bank on the 1. He did. He curved at the 1. You can see kind of just letting the cue ball go wherever, knowing that's an important ball to get off of Nathan's side, but the cue ball ran just perfect to give up a shot on the 12. Looks pretty straight too, where he can't get down table behind the balls at all. I don't know if he's going to draw back maybe. Okay, he's just icing it. Gonna entertain the one ball. He should. Even if he doesn't need to play it towards the hole, just towards his pocket. I mean, it is good enough. Is he looking at a 6-5 off the 9, maybe? Well, if he could hold the ball and take a chance at that, that'd be all right, I think. A little far away from him to be able to hold the ball. You just don't want to go forward and sell out a bank on this 5 ball after it hits the 9. I don't think you do, anyways, because you definitely, again, want to get rewarded with any kind of these shots that are like 50-50. Hey, and I'm not sure if he played the cover with the 9 behind the cue ball behind the 9, but sure worked out all right. Okay, Efrain's looking at maybe banking the 8 here. One thing about that is he really opens up the rest of the balls. He's going to masse this ball, maybe? He's just putting them up in the corner here. I think he left him a little piece of he left him a piece of the 5 ball, so. Maybe he didn't leave him a piece of the 5 ball. I don't think he can cut the 7 towards the 5. I don't really see much of a scramble shot. Maybe he's just going to lay off of this ball thickly, that being the 6 behind the 8 and the 3, but there's trouble there leaving Efrain some type of cross corner. Oh, he hit it mildly, so he's coming to the end rail. Again, he's got to worry about the 9 ball bank, I think. I think the way the balls are jumbled up over there near Efrain, the 3, 8, and 6, I think Efrain, if this bank goes, he'll play it with a self spin trying to win game 1. Yeah, hit it perfect. So Efren Reyes is definitive winning the lag and the opening break of this match. It's a race to 3 here in round 5. I'm Jeremy Jones with Railbird TV Productions. You can see Diamond Billiard Products, one of the sponsors, and the Billiard Shopping Network, another of the title sponsors here. Please like and subscribe. Again, talked about it earlier, his 5th round match, and Nathan, who had a early loss, but some big wins here in the last few rounds. Sound like a really nice hit on the rack, and a bunch of times though in tournament play, talked about it on some other matches, that cue ball doesn't want to agree all the time, and sure sounded like a nice hit on the first 2 balls off the side of the rack, but it's left Efrain some options, that's for sure. Efrain wants to get at that 14 or 13 somehow. Sure, he can cut the 10 enough to 2-rail it off the bottom of the 11 and hold it right there on the back of the 9. Maybe a little risky. Okay, it looks like he's shooting the 10 somehow. Oh, and the cue ball got lost. So that's going to hurt. Pretty sweet shot he hit, though. Thought he would stick right there on the bottom rail with the cue ball. So it's going to cost Efren one, and in return, Nathan Rose getting ball in hand here. Like I said, Nathan was a really, really good player at a young age. A good 9-ball player. He's looking the rack over. I think the 12-3 is very playable. So it might be something like the 6. Draw back, have the 11 to slide over for the 12-3 and go from there. I would like to leave the 4 ball or one of those balls over there on that side to gain some position on, or have like a little safety valve for position later. One thing I was taught in the one pocket in pressure situations, you know, if you're trying to figure out the starting ball, if you have some choices, usually pick the one either closest to the hole or closest to the cue ball, just to make yourself as accurate as possible. That would be the 6. Like I said, just draw back a little bit. I'd take the... Okay, he's going to get a bad angle on this first ball, or a steep angle on the 4, so... Yeah, he should have set up a little more straight in there to draw back and have a nice angle on the 11 to slide over for the 12-3, I believe. Now he's got forced to make a pretty good shot. 11 is not tough. It's not a tough shot, but to move the cue ball into position it is. And the 4, you can see it is definitely missable. And it's a little steep to hold for the 12-3. Could hold right there for a bank on the 4. Oh, he hit that with a great stroke. He may even catch the 12 here to open up the 3. And you can see some of those 9-ball skills right there I was talking about. Now he just doesn't want to catch much of the 5 here. He's got to come into this lightly. That way, if he catches the 5, he could come off the 8 and into the 9 with the cue ball and come up with no shot. With a high ball, he may deflect off the bottom of the 8 and the 5 and come into the bottom of the 9 also. So I like just a little nip draw to keep the run going. A little light. Okay, that's nice. Really could have ended up with a little more angle, it looks like. And I think he can go 3 rails with a high inside English and come around. Maybe for the ball near the cue ball, that 7 goes, I believe. I know the 4 and the 8 go. If he's dead straight, though, he should be able to cheat it to one side or the other, getting the cue ball either to the bottom rail or to the side rail off the 9. Now looking to see, it must be really odd getting the cue ball up. Doesn't want to draw back. Could easily trap himself and come away with no shape. Vice versa, come away with no shape and trap himself. It looks like he's cueing on the bottom of the ball, or somewhat. Is he just holding for a bank here? Okay, he went for the bank on the 8, so if he's going to shoot the 8, though, from where he's gotten, he's probably got to follow his cue ball, not only for some shape, but for somewhat of safety and some distance against Efren. He wanted to get position to be able to slide over, I believe. Well, I don't really see him cueing down on, up on it too much. Maybe he's popping it in. Oh, he did go forward. Came off a little straight. Perfect speed with the cue ball. Perfect speed with the object ball. Now, Efren may shoot at this. He's going to take his time. I was going to say he may shoot at the 3 if it's open. But he knows the balls aren't laying bad for him. Whoa. Wow, and that's even extra special there with the corner hook. I'm not sure he can even get at the 12, ladies and gentlemen. May have to shoot through the 7 here, the ball near the spot. Got to be careful here now. Could easily lose the game from this very next shot. Because if he shoots through the 7, Efren's going to have some openings with the cue ball. Is he looking at something off the 4, maybe? He is. So is he 2-railing the 4 kind of to the side rail? No, and it's not going to go towards the pocket. The problem with this is if it gets down there a ways, could give up a cross-corner bank. And a free one. Okay, he just shot it in the hole. And that was intentional. Try and just put it back on the spot. But like I said, with the 1 and the 15 the way they are, Efren may have a free cut at this 3 ball. Definitely can billiard the 10 in. But he can't really make the cue ball, billiard the 2 in off the 10, but he really can't make the cue ball move much. So I think he cuts the 3 here with a little inside check. Could play the 114 or 115 some kind of way. Now he's looking at these balls. So he's going to cut this in with a lot of inside. Watch how light he hits it, though. Oh, he hit it hard. And that's why I thought hitting it hard, he couldn't make the cue ball really move. Now this may work out anyways. With that little bump on the 4, no, it's got funny. But hitting the carom in hard, you certainly couldn't move the cue ball much because it was a very heavy hit on the 2. I thought he was actually cutting the 2 and trying to spin off those balls with a hair inside, 2 rails out for maybe the 3 that was open a moment ago. I'm not sure what from here. And probably tries to lay him down behind the 4, maybe get a ball on his side up table. He can almost draw off the 4 straight up into the upper left-hand corner and 2-rail the 4 into the balls, but not really sitting that great. Efren's going to spot one. And this is where Nathan needs to really look at putting the cue ball, of course, behind the 13, but getting a ball up table doing so. I don't think you shoot through the 12 here. You draw off the 12, I believe. I know you may give up a long railer, but you got to try and get this ball on your side, the 12 ball. May even shoot the 12 into the side rail, and that may clear that 15 away. Ball he's standing near now. Not bad to soft kick behind these balls, that being the 6 and the 13, but tell you that looks like the perfect angle for the long rail bank that we were talking about on the 15 ball up table for Efren, so we'll see. Is he clipping this ball? All right, he's soft spinning it. Uh-oh, that's going to hurt. It's going to give up a direct shot, and if the 1 ball goes, Efren's going to leave the 14 there. Maybe the 14 gets out of dodge a little bit for him. Because these balls are pretty close together, so there's a little angle. So that tells me anytime they're close, the angle becomes more severe quickly. So probably ignore the 14 here and draw off of this into the 4-ball area for position. Maybe to the 1. Don't think the 10 ball, the ball just above the 3 goes. Okay, you saw him cueing with a forward, like a high English there. That means he may be trying to double kiss the 14 and leave it there. Okay, now he's cueing up a little bit more, so. I don't think he'll rely on double kissing the 14 here. He could. Yeah, he just wasn't sure what was going to happen there. He had to cut it back enough to where he didn't feel like he could come back behind the 1 or the 4. And Efren definitely had a master plan there if he could have got position on that second ball. I think it's a long rail bank on the 15. Not sure. I mean, he could cross corner the 12 and swing the cue ball. Maybe cross cornered on the 4 if he wanted. Can get a little look at the 1, but I still think that the 15, it just lays so nice. Wow, he's gonna 2-rail this ball here. Surprising. He just felt real nice about getting the cue ball behind the 4, I guess. Not bad. All right, looks like Nathan's nicking this ball going somewhere. Not sure exactly where yet. Not bad. Efren won't take much time on this 15 ball. Hit this with a lot of right spin if he shoots it. Trying to kill the cue ball on the side rail. Got to be a little worried about the 4, I think. Take a glance or two at that 12-4 combination leaning towards Nathan's pocket. Definitely hit it with a lot of inside. Trying to hold that cue ball. And I tell you, got away from him a little bit. Definitely a cut shot on the 1 there if Nathan wants to take it on. Yeah, I think he can get in there 100%. I think the way the 7 lays, he carries the 2 ball towards the pocket also. I think just with a high ball here, I wouldn't draw this. I just hit this with a high ball. Now he's considering something else and a soft kick on the 15 maybe, but that's going to leave a long railer on the 14. So I like him going for the win here on the 1. And like I said, I think just a nice high ball. You can see how he's going to kiss the 7 there with the cue ball when he shoots the 1. And it should go forward and catch the good side of the 2, kind of send the 2 lightly towards Nathan's pocket. Just depends on how hard he shoots it. Yeah. He overcut it. I think it was the right shot. I really do, though. Nathan's a solid player, and the balls are down here in play, so that 5-1 lead, that could fool you and say, hey, I ain't supposed to shoot at this, but you're in a lot of danger already. Now, Efren's got no worries here. Just come straight up into them balls to slow the cue ball down, and it makes it the most natural way to pocket. Oh, he can miss them. Okay. Missed them balls. Thought he had to pretty much go into the 12. Not saying he needs to open them here in a moment, though. He'll have a pocket. But you can see Efren just needs these 5, and the 3 definitely goes. So he'll hold underneath this 14 a little bit. 15, excuse me. Nah, he didn't want to have to go 3 rails, but he may not. He still may kill it with inside. Leaves him a lot of angle, though. Thought he might go 3 rails to get a little slighter angle here on the 3, but I think he's still okay. A soft spin, the 10 still doesn't go very far. Just barely bumps the 12. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Maybe he gets thin on the 10, but he's okay. This should catch 2 short rails and back towards the 12 for the game ball. That's ball in hand position, but ladies and gentlemen. Hear a little sigh of relief from Efren. And Efren Reyes kind of steals game 2 from Nathan Rose and takes a 2-0 lead. He won the lag, so in a great position to get a couple of breaks to win this 5th round match and advance in the tournament. Both players have a loss. So this is do or die for both these guys. If you're just joining us, I'm Jeremy Jones with Railbirds TV Productions. It's the 2020 Derby City Classic One Pocket Division. It's a 5th round match. Okay, not the greatest break. He wanted the cue ball up more, and you can see quickly there's a 4 ball that. Now this is where he needs to look. Does it sit well to really protect the cue ball and play the nice speed, the 4 on the 12? Because you have options. You can bank the 4 onto the 10, goes off the 11, slide the cue ball 1 rail up pretty high. And that's what I meant. Is the speed correct to be able to get something in the hole or towards the hole much closer to put pressure on Efren? If it's not, sometimes you have to think of something else. And maybe it was there, but I know he was worried about the cue ball, so that gave up a lot of speed on the object ball. Because if you don't put something near the pocket, these guys are going to get out of the trap a lot or do something like this to you. Now, did he get a shot on the 13 or not? Efren will swerve the cue ball if he needs. Pretty confident, and I think it. Besides that 8-15 looming, maybe kind of free. He's got a 2-ball bank, though, that goes, or kind of goes. Gets near the hole anyways. If he doesn't like the 2, you may see him 4-rail kick, place the cue ball behind that 1. He's looking at a carom shot, 3 off the 6 with a high ball. Got to hit it a high ball to have a chance to make it, I think. No, he drew it, and that's why it went to the side rail. I think to really have a chance to make it had to be high English on that. Tell you what, though, he's left Nathan in a funny spot here. Can't get at that 3. He can come off the 13 and kind of try and get behind the 3, or maybe go into the 3 with the cue ball. Not the worst play. Maybe 4-rail the 13 and shove the cue ball up behind the 3, something like that. Probably just a simple shot to try and get into the 3. Oh, he just played it over. Got to be careful. The 6. Big pocket there on the 6 with the 3 being there. Efren's still got the 4-rail kick to get up behind the 11 and the 1. Hasn't really looked at the 6 yet, but it won't slip his mind, I'm sure. Okay, he's looking at maybe getting at the 4. Can he scramble everything out of there if he shoots on the 4 somehow? Possibility. 6 is a hard one to pass up with the 3 being there, though, I think. I think you can hit about the first diamond past the side pocket and still make it. Well, that's going to be upsetting. Okay, again, what do? You can play the 3 across. If you try to hold the ball underneath the 9, well, you really don't get the speed on the 3 to do any damage, taking a chance to maybe make 1 or hang 1. So here, if you're going to play the 3, I think you play at 2-rail speed to maybe go into the 9, or if you don't catch the 9, play the right speed to freeze him on the end rail. So if that makes sense, play the cross corner to where you hit the second rail, that being the long rail, maybe catch the 9 in a good way. But if you don't, it goes on by the 9. It goes all the way up and freezes on the end rail. Now, is there some type of kiss shot that we're not seeing? Hey, this ain't bad. What about that 2 ball? If he was lefty, he would have definitely shot it already and probably drew his ball safe. You can see a good look at Josh Filler on the screen there. Top players in the world. From what I hear, he's really taken a liking to one pocket, which is a pretty common thing. Most people, I'm gonna stay away from that. It's not for me. And then once they start playing, it usually becomes their most favorite pool game. Well, Nathan, he's played pretty well. He's moved around pretty good. First game really was kind of out of his hands a little bit. Second game, he had a nice lead, and it was just, again, just a shot or two, and Efren got right back in it like he always does. And all right, do you kind of try to control this coming off this ball and going behind the 3? Do you go all out right here to try and make this 1 ball? I think it might go on a... All right, he's hitting it soft. Okay, he got a double kiss. I think he felt like he could go over there and maybe bump the 3 safe, bump the 3 and get the cue ball safe or something along those lines. Now, is Efren going to look at this 11-8 at all out of the top of the stack? Maybe that's the 13-8, excuse me. Not taking much time here, so... Oh, that one squeaked in. He's trying to get on the 4 ball. Okay, the 11 goes, so he shouldn't try to disrupt much here. Ooh. Oh, he got there. Not sure he was trying to get into that 1 ball there. I think that pushed the envelope to the extreme, getting on the 11. I mean, the 11 was very makeable from above, and now he may have just fallen absolutely perfect, maybe? I don't know. It's close. Thing is, he'll have to elevate to try and hold this ball for the 6. I'm really surprised he hasn't looked at the 11-8. Just... Maybe he has. Oh, wow, look at that. That's why I was wondering if he had played it that way. Okay, so probably a kick bank here. Maybe you get up behind this softly. Go to that long rail behind the 11. Just bump it out lightly. You'd like to protect that 12-1. Much better than sending one at your pocket, but you don't want to probably give up this ball either. So it's either a light one to the long rail or coming across the short rail there and kick banking it towards your hole and sending the cue ball up table. But again, if you do that, you probably maybe want to come across it lightly too. Don't send the 11 all the way towards your hole. That way the cue ball maybe only gets up by the side or something like that. He's cueing low, trying to kick it out of there, maybe. Oh, he just gave up the ball, and that's a good cue ball for sure. And I think he may have snookered him on all those balls, that being the 6, getting to the rail on the 1, kicking the 12, anything like that. Yeah, and Efren, the one thing about Efren here is when you talk about kicking near that ball, this is where it could scratch, and he doesn't want to do that. He's just trying. Look at this shot, removing a couple and putting them on his side. Wow, what a shot. That worked out pretty sweet. What about a kick on the 8 here, probably? Something like that. Kick to the long rail, play the 8 over to your pocket, put the cue ball behind the 12. Now he's just going to follow through the 12. It's okay, but Efrain's got a little more wiggle room now because the 1 isn't cuttable from everywhere. So yeah, I like him kicking that 8. Actually, even, you know, if there's a lot of room to get the 8 by the 12, meaning you can send the 8 into the low rail and still make the 1, something like that, I might kick aggressively here trying to make this. Again, you have the guy behind you to where if you don't sew him up real well, he's not just going to sell out easy ones. You can play it light too and just try and secure. Oh, that's going to hurt. You can hear Nathan right there. That can't be good. That's probably going to be the last shot that Nathan Rose takes in our 2020 Derby City Classic 1-pocket division. He'll be back to compete another day, but I think Efren Reyes needing 2 is going to get out here. With a loss, he's going to advance to the 6th round. A little chip-in 6 ball to take this match down. So there you go. Efren Reyes defeats Nathan Rose. Nathan will have to wait for the 9 ball, but Efren Reyes will be back for the 6th round of the 1-pocket. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Jones here with Railbird TV Productions. We'll be back to you shortly. Thank you very much.